What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and I'm back. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody who support me and who support this platform, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Very much appreciated, man. Much love. I appreciate all the love and the support. Salute to y'all, man. Before we get this show started, I need to make sure y'all like this video, like the stream, share the stream. Like the stream and share the stream, yo. Tonight, like always, I'm going to be talking to my fellow BMs because this is what we do over here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. You know, I'm more into, and I'm not just saying this just to say it because y'all can always go and look at my content and see for yourself. I'm not really into bashing other BMs, man. I'm going to just say this before I start. And if I sound a little funny, it's because a nigga been sick, man, you know. The sickness spread all through the house, and I'm always the last one to get hit with it, so y'all bear with me. That's why I didn't do the show last night. So, I'm not really into bashing other BMs. I'm more into sitting down and having a real conversation with them and just being upfront and frank about things. And I respect other BMs who treat me the same way. You know, as a as a man, we have to know how to deal with each other in that capacity. You know, we like to say steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron, all those little catchphrases, man, but you know, we really have to sit down and have these types of conversations, and a lot of these types of conversations make certain BMs uncomfortable. Certain conversations, and that's to be expected. I'm not saying it like there's nothing wrong with it, but some of these conversations that I'm having here, right here on my platform, really it ruffles some dudes' feathers, man. They feel like I shouldn't say that, or we need to be focused on something else. But at the end of the day, if us as men cannot sit down and be upfront and frank with each other when it comes to certain things, I mean, then what is the point? What is the point, man? So tonight, I want to tell my fellow BMs that we're responsible for our own happiness. We are responsible for our own happiness. Now, I know people gonna be like, well, that's for everybody. Everybody's responsible for their own happiness. And that's true to a certain extent. But in particular, us BMs, we have to learn to understand that we are responsible for our own happiness. And I'm speaking on this tonight because we have been socialized to think that and to live vicariously for somebody else. You see, we have to understand that the programming that we got was simp programming. And when I say simp programming, I'm saying that to say most of us were taught that you are to live for everybody else except yourself. We were taught that our happiness is based on you being able to make someone else happy. We were taught that at the end of the day, we're last. We're the last to be happy, but the first to die. We are the last to be happy, but the first to die. And this is how a lot of us was brought up. We were taught to be the savior for an illusion. Let me repeat that. We were taught to be saviors for an illusion. When I say this, we were taught that we have to go out in the world and put everything on our backs, carry the world, carry our family, carry our mothers, carry our children. And then when it's all said and done, our reward is a pat on the head or a pat on the back or good job. This is how we were socialized. And we was taught that that is quintessential manhood. See, we weren't taught to be independent. Make sure y'all like the video, man. Like the stream, share the stream. See, we wasn't taught to be independent. We was taught to go out in the world and work, right? And give everything away. And not have anything for ourselves, because anything that we generate for ourselves is not for ourselves. See, this is what I want us to understand tonight, BMs. Everything about your life that you think is yours, you know it's not yours. You know it's not yours because you have to give it away. And that is because we wasn't taught to be independent. See, if you hear a lot of our women today, they say that they were raised to be independent. And this is why our women is allowed to be selfish. See, we're not allowed to be selfish. And when I say selfish, I'm talking about monetarily, financially. I'm talking about emotionally. See, we were taught and designed that real men share. Real men give it all. But our women were socialized to be independent. You see, this is why you could be in a relationship and they're not concerned with you being happy. Because it's not about you being happy. It's not about you being happy with this woman. She could care less if you're happy. It's about how you make her feel. Because that's why you were created. This is how our women were socialized about us. We are tools. See, you have to understand that. This is why it's a lot of unhappy BMs out here. A lot of us are unhappy. You know why? Because we don't have a goddamn thing for ourselves. We're not living the life we really want to live. A lot of us have compromised who we are to be accepted. You see? We're not happy to the point where we're self-fulfilled. And we can never be self-fulfilled until we decide to understand that we're responsible for our own happiness. So no matter how many kids you got, no matter how many wives you got, that doesn't determine your happiness as a man. And every man knows this. See, you get a lot of guys that come up on here, they come up on YouTube and they try to make it seem as if by them living through this socialization process and acting out on it, that they're actually doing the right thing. And they promote it. But when you look at these guys, see, I was taught to look a man in his eyes. And when I look at a lot of these guys who quote unquote is happy, I don't see any happiness in their eyes. You know what I see? I see contentment. That's what I see. I see the look on their face like, oh well, it is what it is type of shit. Us brothers are not happy. And we're not happy because how we were socialized as children. See, growing up as a boy, growing up in the gynocracy, you are a workhorse. You're a mule. You are a mule. Most people don't treat mules good. They abuse them. And when I say abuse them, they don't really care for them. They don't take care of them. They don't maintain the mule. They just use the mule until the mule can't do what they need them to do anymore. And once that's done, it's like, oh, well, figure this shit out yourself, homie. And that's the look that I see in a lot of these men eyes who get up on YouTube and act like they so happy. That's the look that I see. And a lot of these men, they listen to content from certain content creators for a reason. See, these guys don't listen to certain people for nothing. Why? If you're happy, right, in your current situation, right? If you happy, why do you listen to red pill content? Why do you listen to Ibmore Brothers? Why do you listen to SYSBM Brothers? Why do you listen to brothers who speak about a life you're not even living? Why do you listen to content from brothers that you cannot relate to? Because you're not happy. That's why. That's why. Because you cannot relate to them. Because you're quote unquote happy. You got everything you want. You're happy. So if you happy, why are you listening to certain people? Why are you indulging in certain content? Because you're not happy. And I see that same look on all you dudes' faces that call yourself and say that y'all really happy. I know y'all not. See, y'all just afraid to say it because you don't want to piss your woman off. See, a lot of our men have been domesticated. You see? And they don't even understand how that has happened. But how it has happened is you have allowed someone else to dictate your happiness. That's why. But on the flip side, when you look at our women, they determine what makes them happy. Even if it's just for 30, 45 minutes. Shit, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes, 5 minutes, they determine it. Because they were raised to be independent thinkers. Because, of course, they're not independent in their actual lifestyles. Because most of these women who talk this independent shit live off the system. They live off the system. And without the system, they wouldn't have shit. These is just the facts. Most of these women who talk this independent, I'm my own woman shit is eaten because they have an agency that allows them to go and get whatever they need. If this was back in the day where women had to depend on their men and it wasn't no way for you to just run and go get aid, 90% of these women that you hear talking this independent shit out here, they'll be in pocket. See, they only talk that shit because they can go get help elsewhere. But see, back in them times when they couldn't go get no help, you didn't hear them saying that independent woman shit. You didn't hear them talking that shit. You didn't hear them saying that they didn't need nobody. You didn't hear them saying that. All you got to do is ask your grandmama. You see? Because if you're my age, if you in your 30s, your early 30s, your grandmama's about 70 something. And if you ask her, was she talking that independent shit, she'll tell you no. That she had to depend on your grandfather. Because there wasn't no agency there. But my point is our women nowadays, and for the past, I'm going to say 50 years, 50 to 60 years, they were raised with the independent mindset where we was taught, us BMs, was taught that our happiness is predicated on what we can give everyone. See, and this is why I say we're responsible for our happiness. Because a person who's a receiver needs things to be given to them. Now, y'all pay attention. A person who's a receiver needs to be given things in order to survive. But when you're biologically a giver, you are supposed to be able to sustain on your own. Now, let me break down what I just said. Biologically, women are receivers. That's why they have vaginas. That's why they have wombs. Okay? Nothing grows if you don't put nothing in it. You see? Women are biologically receivers. That's why they have the sexual orifice that they have. Men are biologically givers. That's why we have a rod. And our rod was designed to provide what? Energy. We are biologically givers, fellas. So how could you depend on a receiver to give you anything? Especially happiness. How can you logically expect a receiver to give you what you gave them when they are not biologically engineered to do so? In other words, women cannot give us happiness, men. because their nature is not to give. Their nature is to receive. Why do you think our women focus on what we give them? Because that is the biological nature of a man, to give. That's why we have rods. That's why she's always talking about what you haven't gave her. Because she's not a giver of anything. And I'm talking about naturally. See, in a relationship, the things that you do get from a woman are just things of their affection. And they only give you things because they want what you have to give. It's a reward. If you make me feel good about myself and you make me feel warm inside and happy, I'm going to reward you with something. But you only getting this because what you gave me. You see? So she's going to give you things from her affection. She's showing affection to you because what you gave her. But she cannot give you happiness. The things that us BMs nowadays are seeking, and I'm not talking about a maggle or nothing like that. I'm talking about straight up and down men. It's very hard to please men like us. And when I say please us, the first thing the average female is going to say is, well, what are you talking about? You ain't hard to please. That is because they don't understand who you are as a man. See, when it comes to primal things, men are very simple. Sex, food, we simple. But when you start getting into the mental aspect of a man, if you're not a maggle or a bozo or a cream puff, we're very complex individuals. This is why a lot of these women that's on YouTube don't like for men to sit down and have certain types of conversations. They don't want to even hear it. You know why? For one, it's not for them. And for two, they cannot comprehend because they're not men. Because they're not us. So BMs, understand that you are responsible for your happiness. Nobody else is. She cannot fulfill you, but you can fulfill her. Do y'all know that most marriages, most relationships are just people keeping each other company. You've been married for 20 some years. And this is an example. You've been married for 20 some years. Do you still see your wife the same way you saw her before? No. No. Do you have the same kind of energy that you had when y'all first got together? And it don't have shit to do with your age. So stop saying that shit too. Because dudes like to say, well, I'm getting old. It ain't the fact that you're getting old. It's the fact that your relationship is stale. And it's stale because you realize that you're the one that's unhappy. And you're unhappy because you put your whole life on hold thinking that that is what men are supposed to do. Because this is how we were raised in the gynocracy. And this is what a male in the house or with a male outside of the house. A lot of BM's fathers are gynocratic. They grew up in the gynocracy. So the things that they told you in terms of manhood was gynocratic. See, don't think because you grew up with a father that you still didn't grow up in the gynocracy. Because you could have a gynocratic father. Because your father could have grew up in the gynocracy. Which is why he told you the shit that he told you. To sacrifice everything for your woman. Throw it all away for this woman. Just do it. That's your job as a man. To go out and live for everybody but yourself. Because in the end, it all will pay off and everybody will be happy. And your job is done as a man. And then you know what happens to those kind of men? They die of heart failure at 60. They die of cancer at 40. And it's because we have allowed other people to be we have allowed other people, mainly our women, to dictate what happiness is for us. See, we haven't defined as a group of men, we haven't let it be known and shown that we're responsible for our happiness. And how you know we didn't do that, just listen to what the brothers talk about and what they've been through. See, what I'm telling you is something that a lot of us BMs had to find out later on in life. A lot of us had to restructure our whole mindset and lifestyle coming out of certain situations where we had to realize what was behind all this shit. What is the reason for all of this shit? We didn't grow up knowing this because it wasn't taught, because it was not a societal norm. See, it's been a societal norm for a long time now where our women say that they're independent. That's been a norm for a long time now. A long time. This is why she can turn off and on whenever she's ready. Because she was taught this. She was bred this way. Where we wasn't. You see? So BMs, I'm here to tell us this evening, man. We have to take our lives back, man. Take your life back. Because when you die, it's all about what you've done for you. It's not about what you've done for everyone else. Because that shit get played out after a while. You know, I knew this guy. He was one of my pop's friends. And this guy, he was a successful New York City basketball coach. He was a good dude. He made money. Made a lot of money. And this shit is sad, man. But his wife took everything. When he died, he left this woman everything. And they don't even respect that man. That man is just a memory. He's not respected. He's not revered. You know, he's not what he thought he would be when he left this earth, because he thought by sacrificing himself for everyone else is what made him a man, is what made him who he should have been always remembered as. And that man is just a memory. Now let that sink in, fellas. And there's thousands, millions of men that died the same way. That died the same way. And I'm here tonight to ask the BMs that's listening, that's in the chat room, is that how you want to be remembered? Do you want to leave this world empty inside? Do you want to leave this planet knowing that you've done everything for everybody else except you? Is that how you want to live? Is that how you want to be remembered? Is that how you want to die? And I know a lot of y'all like, hell no. Then your behavior has to change. And this is why I did this stream tonight, man. Because you got to understand that your children are watching you. Do you want your son to grow up and to have that same mentality as you? To be a servant to your woman? Because we got to understand as parents, we don't just teach through words only. We teach through action. So what your sons see you do is also what they're going to mirror. You see? This is why it's important that we must search for our own happiness, wherever that may be. But first, it starts from within. This is why I say we have to heal before we build. You see? Go and be with people and be in places where you are accepted for being who you are. Not just for what you can do for somebody, but be around people who respect you for your mind. See, a lot of us BMs are around people who don't respect the way we fucking think. They don't respect the type of men that we are. See, because any dude is walking around with a dick and a pair of balls. You see? That's why they look at us as tools. Because they expect us to operate as such. But when you're operating as the goddamn mechanic and not the wrench, when you're acting like the mechanic and not the screwdriver, but you the motherfucker who has the screwdriver in their hand, you become a problem for these quote unquote independent women. Because a man who has a sound, active, and thinking mind opposes the independent feminist mindset. And you become a problem. And we have to stop thinking that women with that mindset is going to make us happy. Or women, period, is going to make us happy, man. Because that's not what they're here for. They're not here to make you happy. They don't know how to make you happy. They think cause y'all have sex every night and you happy. When that could just be the sound you make when you ejaculate. That don't mean you're happy. But they think as long as your stomach full and your nuts is empty, you happy. And that should tell us as men that they don't understand who and what we are. And that you will never be seen past that. So we have to understand that we're responsible for happiness, for our own happiness. And it starts from within. And the way that we cultivate that inner happiness is by doing shit for ourselves and only ourselves. So guess what? It's okay to be selfish, dude. It's okay. You're not a tyrant because you're selfish. You're not selfish because you do certain things for you and only for you. You keep certain things for you and only for you. That's what we supposed to do as men. Shout out to everybody on the super chat, man. Who was that? Shout out to Ghost. I appreciate that, Ghost. He said pragmatism is key. Shout out to you, OG. I appreciate that. I'm not an OG, but I appreciate that, Ghost. And shout out to my man Doug for the super chat too. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, fellas. But we are responsible for our happiness. And this is what we have to teach our sons. See, a lot of us was raised in this fashion. Go to school. First of all, listen to your mama. Respect your mama. Love your mama. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not disagreeing with none of that. After that, go to school, right? Get an education so you can come out and get a career so you can have enough money and resources to have a wife. So you can buy your wife a house. We don't understand that we were engineered to continue being slaves. Go out in the world and do everything for somebody else except you. And hopefully you'll get some respect. Hopefully you'll get some. Hopefully. Hopefully. That is the wrong way. It's about self first. Before you take on a woman, before you even take on having children, you better make sure that some shit in your life you have lived and completed because you wanted to. Whether it was right or wrong. Because right and wrong is based on perception at the end of the day. That's what we should be teaching our sons. To go out and be fulfilled before you go out and have children. Before you go out and take on women as your girl, as your wifey, and all that silly shit. Fulfill yourself. So that means if you want to run around and be the top gamer in the goddamn United States, and that's your goal, go and do it. Because that's what's going to make you happy. Fuck what makes her happy, because she's going to find a way to be happy regardless, because that's how she was taught. She was taught to be independent. So if she don't get it from you, she'll get it from another guy. And guess what that does? That doesn't leave you in limbo. That doesn't have you in a situation that now you gotta try to ease your way out. Or just going through a bunch of unnecessary BS. It's time for us to teach our sons to be men first. And being a man is being a man for you first, not being a man for a woman. See, a lot of these guys think being a man is being a man for a woman. You got to be a man for you first. And I'm not talking about just going out and getting some bread. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your self-worth as a man. How you see yourself, accepting yourself. Those bases needs to be covered first. And if not, you'll be looking like half these dudes on YouTube who run around saying they happy. But when you look at them on camera and you hear them speak, you see what it really is. These dudes are not happy. You see? That's what we have to teach our sons. Whatever you want to be, son, go and be that for you. Not for dad, not for mommy, for you. You want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for doing the goddamn most jumping jacks? Go and do it, son. Do whatever makes you happy. Do it. Because you design you. You are the giver. So if you're not fulfilled within yourself, you're going to run out of shit to give real fast. Or you going to give all yourself away and don't have shit left for you. And forget all the shame and tactics they do and all the shit that they say. Ignore all that shit, son. Go be the best you, whoever that is. Because your woman can't define your manhood. Can't no woman define manhood. She only could tell you what the fuck she want out of a man. And you know why she can tell you that? Because she's a receiver. That's why she can tell you that. Because she's a receiver. You see? You are a giver. Understand who you are quintessentially, biologically. Understand what you are. You are the light. You are the light. That's why, what do you think sperm is? Sperm is light. There's no light in a woman's womb. Who puts the light there? The man. That's why we say we have rods, lightning rods. We bring the light. There's no light in the womb without us. So what you gonna do to make sure you happy? Shout out to my man Ronan. He said, we're worthy of genuine happiness. We've earned it. Exactly. Shout out to my fam Hills Inn. Appreciate that, family. And you know how we've earned it, Ronan? And how we continue to earn it, big bro? Paying motherfucking dues. Paying dues. And you know what paying dues is? Taking all of the brunt and the bullshit that come along with being a man living this life. That's paying dues. Going through bullshit with women. Having to deal with this wicked world. That's paying dues. And not letting it change who you are. That's paying dues. Always finding a way to recreate yourself. Finding new routes to make money. Or just finding a goddamn way to remain sane in this chaotic world. It's paying dues. It's called paying dues, man. When we work, that's called paying dues. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's paying dues. Getting your heart broken. All that shit. It's all part of paying dues. This come with being a man. This is why I did the stream. Whoever said being a man was going to be easy? It's not going to be easy when you the goddamn giver of everybody. Everybody looking for you to give. Because that's what you were born to be, a giver. That's why you're a man. So it's not going to be easy. But within all that bullshit, we have to find a way to be happy. And if that takes you removing yourself away from certain people, that's just what you have to do. That's like you need your star player. It's the playoffs. If you run your star players into the ground during the goddamn regular season, they might get injured for the playoffs. Pay attention. If you run him all 4 quarters during the regular season and he never get no goddamn rest, you think he gonna be ready for the playoffs? Huh? What I'm saying is how much you think you have left to give after you done allowed everyone to take from you? How much do you really have left to give? This is why it's important, man, that we understand that we're responsible for our happiness. Nobody else is. Not our children, not our mothers, not our women, not our fathers. Nobody else. Us. We have to make sure we are fulfilled before we go out and fulfill anyone else. This is what we have to do. And it's important because we weren't taught this. The mass majority of BMs were not taught this. We were not taught that it's a good thing to be selfish, son. We had to learn that after being misused and mistreated. We had to learn this. This is not something we were taught. Because if we was taught this, then we can have a discussion about the community. Because then you will have able, ready men who are fulfilled to go out and to save the community. The community will actually exist. Because I already showed and proved in the stream that there is no black community. I already showed and proved that. Y'all can go and check that stream out. There's no black community. I already showed and proved it. You see? So this is why there is no community either. I mean, also, because there's an all-out assault on the men. And it always has been. This is why we were raised to be the way that we are. This is why. So no community can exist. So I definitely want to come to y'all this evening and chop it up with y'all about that. I'm gonna give some shout outs, man, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this and go and rest up, man, because I really don't, I don't really like this sick shit, but it is what it is. So shout out to y'all, man. Um, if you would like to donate, the links is in the chat room. Cash App $Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Cash App $Sheep Stay Sleep TV. One word. Go ahead and hit the Cash App up. Hit the Streamlabs up, man. Shout out to everybody. Much love to y'all, man. What's good, Malachi? Shout out to Doug the Diplomat, man. Go Hard Black. Tony Smith. Deep in Thought. Shout out to you, bro. What up, Sonny? Shout out to my sis Poetic Kales in the checking. I see y'all, man. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to Ghost too, man. Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV, Ghost. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. Hit the notification bell so you can stay in tune with Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Ronan, I appreciate the donation again, bro. He said we must celebrate the warrior. Looking back, us off reflective surfaces in the eyes of children, yet more importantly, within. Exactly. 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 We look for all outside things and outside sources to make us happy. That's why we put so much into it. Because that's what we was taught. To fulfill everyone else. And when everyone else is happy, then we can sit back and be happy. But how many of our men have done that and died in peril? How many of us done that already? How many times we gonna do the same shit? Come on, man. That's a fact, Rona. My man Deep in Thought said food for thought. Indeed, my brother. Albert Bird, what's good, man? Come on, man. This is why brotherhood is important. That's the real meaning of steel sharpen steel. Meaning, if you sharp and your brother is weak, he's dull, his blade is dull in certain areas, you should come and sharpen your brother's blade in that area. With what? With information. With information. Look, you can do this. Look, you can go here and do that. That's how you sharpen. That's how steel sharpens steel. That's how brothers do shit. Oh, this what you want to do, bro? All right, well, you could go and just do this. I'll help you do this. That's brotherhood. But that's lacking because we were taught to put all our stock into everybody else. So there's no time for brothers to build each other up. There's no time for that. It's a lot of lone wolves out here. And that's how it was designed. Because that's how they can pick us off. Lone wolves. Lone wolves. Don't nobody love this nigga. We can get rid of him easy. This is what they do. This is what it is, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. And remember, y'all, BMs, we are responsible for our own happiness, man. We are. It's time for us to stop dying in peril. Stop dying of heartbreak and disappointment. That shit need to end, man. So I appreciate all y'all for tuning in, man. Much love to y'all. Like I said, if you would like to donate, the Streamlabs links is in the chat room. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV. That's again Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Much love to y'all. This is DS1 Ross of Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And remember, y'all, we gotta heal before we build. We gotta heal before we build. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Shout out to all the donators. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit the like button, share the stream, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.